Welcome back, dear gentle listener, viewer, consumer. So I am in the middle of making a decision.
I told you so.
What is up for debate is book one. So book one, let's go ahead and recap. I started this series with creating a fictional city. This fictional city's purpose was to be the setting for the stories that I told in the future. I have tons of books in my, not catalog, I just have tons of manuscripts that have been written. Some in varying stages of completion, some completely done, some close to it, some couple chapters are in there. In these stories, they span different geographical areas. I already have this fictional, maybe like Caribbean island that I created years ago that is the setting for a few of these series. In order to streamline a lot of my stories, because in my mind, they all take place in the same universe, but then when you get to the like more paranormal, occult, fantastical things, that's a bit of a whatever. It's some more going on. But with that, the beauty and the privilege that I have in what I'm doing now is that the only thing that's technically canon is what has been published, and those things have not been published, even though they're completely done. They're written. They're done. So I have this fictional city where I'm still going to release the books that I have that, you know, span different places on the globe. Some in Georgia, some in the South, some in Texas, some in Michigan, some in New York, and But with this fictional town, the purpose was to become the setting for a series of stories that I could just kind of pump out and get people familiar with this space. And then it also cuts back on, which isn't a big deal, but can be, on having to rely on real world cities and, you know, locations, having to get stuff right. And I'm not opposed to that. That's part of the research process. That's fun. But with this fictional city, I can pull from the cities that I've enjoyed, that I've lived in and visited, without having to worry about being so on the nose, because everything is from my mind. Everything is created. Everything is fictional. Throughout this series, I have created the fictional world, fictional city. I have plotted 3 different series. One being the series that I'm currently writing about 3 fraternity brothers living and existing. That's the best way to put it for now. Another is a political thriller that is essentially plotted as well. It hasn't been outlined fully, but it's plotted. I know what's going to happen. And then there is a third, I don't want to say secret, but I'll just say secret for now, secret series that'll have 3 books as well that will be worked on in the back end. My focus now is the 3 fraternity brother series. In the midst of that, where we left off, with this first book, all 3 were supposed to be novellas. The first book is outlined fully. I have completed the first book as far as a novella word count is concerned. I'm at 37,955 words. There is more to be told in this story, and so I'm going to work on that. What? Where I am now is with the second and third books. Those have not been written. There are tons of notes that have been taken for those when I do get ready to plot and outline those. I know generally what's going to happen because the whole 3-book series is effectively done as far as plotting is concerned, but you know, things have changed. I've learned more about these characters throughout the first book, and you know, things have been moved around. In my mind, I'd like to stop at the novella word count, continue with the second and third book, and then see if those books have a similar word count or not. I'm still going to write the full-length first book novella, full novel length story because there's still more to tell and I want to get this story out. But once I finish books 2 and 3, that will determine how things will be released. So then going back to my initial thought was get all 3 done, finish them up in 2024 before the year ends, get them edited, get covers, do all the back matter, all the good stuff, formatting, everything that needs to be done with a book so that there can be a rapid release. For example, January 15th for one, March 15th for the other, May 15th for the last. It's just something like that's essentially like the schedule that I'm looking at. So right now, the first book's novella word count is complete. I am still going through to finish off the first book, and in the midst of doing so, my outline has been phenomenal. My outline is really finishing this book in 10 days, just a few hours after my initial deadline, which I gave myself like 2 Fridays starting on that Monday, and it took me to like Saturday afternoon, or early Saturday afternoon to get it done. With that, having an entire book written in 10 days is so beyond me. I have not done that ever, and I have to attribute that to one, spending those 2 weeks or so that I spent with developing this fictional city. Being able to develop this city, and it's still not completely done, but like the neighborhood where all of this book 1 occurs is effectively fleshed out. It's fleshed out enough that once more books in this city start to come out, you'll be able to see, okay, well, that's where, so-and-so, they went out for drinks. That's the school. That's this, that, and the third. And it's going to make more sense with the more books that come out. I am so grateful that I put in that work. In addition to me putting in the work to develop the city, which is still ever changing, because what's published is canon, so there's that. I have also developed an outline. Now the outline, I don't think, if I can recall correctly, it didn't take me too long to create, maybe a couple days to and I'm still, even now in the midst of doing it, I'm still kind of adding and moving stuff around, but the general framework, the blueprint of this outline is done. It's done. And so that's what I think I'll be doing probably for this video, because I'm still writing and whatnot, but for this one I have to take a portion of this outline that was more vague. And when I say vague, it has all the things that I want to happen, but just not the details. So it may be like, they go on a date, they go to the park, they have dinner with his parents. All of that is written out, but the actual details are not. And then I'm also going to spend some time focusing on what comes next in the book, because throughout this process of completing this novella turned novel, maybe novella, I've been making sure that I got far enough ahead to figure out what details need to be mentioned early or earlier or seeded in, so that when this reveal or these things happen, it's like, oh, okay, this makes sense. So that's where I am now. I'm going to get to that and then check back in, and there may be some writing done, maybe not, but right now we're gonna get into the money. Everybody, man. Yeah, bruh. So I have not written any words yet. Well, I have technically, but I haven't written anything for the book yet. I'm going over 2 chapters, scenes, and fleshing them out. One in particular, I know that I have all of that written out. I mentioned in a very early episode that a lot of what I have in the outline includes a lot of dialogue and descriptions and scenes that are already. So this one will just be a matter of cleaning it up once I insert it where it needs to be. So that's going to be a ton of words that'll be added. But the scene that I have I didn't have questions about. I knew what was going to happen, but now that I've gotten this far into the book, I know the characters a little bit more, and I know what's coming. I'm able to move stuff around and still throw in some, like, not necessarily plot twists, but like surprises. And I was able to rework these 3 ideas into 2 different scenes and make them flow together so much better than what they were in the initial outline. They're probably going to be pretty long scenes, and at the end of this, I am kind of back on track. Well, I am on track, but I'm back on track with preparing for the next big thing that's going to come up, and so this feels good. The only thing that I'm not necessarily worried about, but that's on the back of my mind, is the flow. I don't care about the pace, because I think the story is paced well enough, but the flow from like one beat to the next. And I know with fiction, sometimes you have to suspend belief for some things, and I'm wondering what the reception will be like for a good portion of this. I'm thinking about possibly getting some sort of beta reader for the first 19 chapters that are technically the novella, and seeing if there's any questions that pop up, because as I'm plotting out this other portion, that's the more gray area that has what I want to happen but not the details, if there's something that needs to be altered or changed, like collectively everyone comes back with the same concerns for those first 19 chapters, I like to address those and kind of fold whatever the concerns might be into this portion. But right now I'm feeling so freaking good. My God. Yeah, this is about to be fun. And then I'll have to do this very same thing again for this next section, because there's like a couple things that I want to happen, and there's like 1 or 2 things that's going to move the B plot forward that I have written here. They're not set in stone, but once I get to writing the 2 scenes that I actually did rework, some of that might change. But I am so freaking excited, and it is late in the evening, so I have time. I have time to get this done, and oh God, this is looking pretty good, man. So whether it be a novella or a full-length novel, this is looking pretty good. Okay, so the 2 scenes that I call myself drafting or planning out, the first one is done, and that was intense. I think this is actually the longest chapter that I have here. Let's check and see. 3,500 words, 3,548 for that one. 2112 31. Yeah, that is the longest chapter in this book so far. I've moved on from the novella ending now into uncharted territory, and it's cool. The next scene is a pretty big one as well. I'm going to take a break though. What is it? Almost 9 o'clock. I'm going to take me a break to just rest, because I want to power through and get this scene finished, but I've also been sitting at this computer for quite some time. The total word count now has gone up to 41,503 words. Some of these chapters, really like the last 2 or 3, I think I'm still going to have to go back and move some stuff around. Yeah, because the next one is this like event, and it's planned out. I'm pretty happy with it. I have some parts of it that are already done, so that'll just be a copy and paste, and then making it fit with whatever is added. But I don't know. I wonder what deadline I should set for myself to have the rest of this done, because to be quite honest, the amount that's left is a lot, but it's a lot because there is a lot of kind of moving parts. Not that the beginning wasn't, but with my schedule being different next week and my location being different, there I'll have a better handle on the work like I did during that first week. So let's see. Let's go. Where's my calendar? I don't know. I'll come back with a deadline later. I'm thinking 2 weeks, but we'll see. So that's my update. I might make this the final one and just like keep on going and see what else I can throw in here. But this might be my last little update because I am about to lay it down. So yeah, keep on following.